Hey guys, it's September the 16th. We're out on Shenandoah Parkway near Big Meadows Lodge. And this is the view we're looking at. We're gonna watch a sunset here in a few minutes. But I'm getting ready to do something that I love to do, and that's to interview a hiker. We're gonna talk to a guy that we met last year. He was hiking the AT and didn't make it as far as he wanted that year, but he's back out here doing some more. Let's get over here and talk to him. Mizman is his name. And tell us, Mizman, when you started last year.
I started on February 2nd.
How far did you go?
I made it 1,200 miles.
Wow, that's a lot of miles.
It sure was. A lot of smiles, too.
And tell us a little bit about your hike last year, and then we'll talk about this year a little bit, about what you enjoyed the most while you was out there the 1,200 miles.
Wow. The learning curve, I knew absolutely nothing. I had a little experience, maybe a week-long camping, hiking experience, so everything was new to me. I went into it with an open mind and an open heart, and just tried to learn as much as I could from others. And people are really, really wonderful on the trail. They'll help you out. They'll give you some advice, and sometimes you learn just by watching somebody else do something the right way. So eventually I figured it out and streamlined my pack, and dropped some weight and kept sending stuff home instead of carrying it. And gosh.
What was you carrying? What kind of weight was you carrying when you started, and then when you finished the 1,200 miles?
I had over 50 pounds at times when I started, and because I started so early in the year, my mindset was I needed some extra winter clothing, and that stuff's really, really heavy, and it really weighs you down. And with the other things that you find out within a couple of miles or a couple of weeks, you realize you don't need a lot of these things that we, for some reason, think we need. So I got a few pack shakedowns from some experienced hikers that told me what to mail home and what I didn't need, and I just kept hiking. I finally got it down to in the low 30s.
Wow, that's good.
And I was very comfortable, and at that time I had really gotten my trail legs, and I had gotten fitter hiking the trail like I did, so the reduced weight just supercharged my hike. I was flying for a while there.
And I can remember, we've talked about this, that when you got to the Smokies, it was extremely cold, wind chill, I think minus 20 something.
Yeah.
And I suggested y'all skip the Smokies, you and Hawk, and went right up south of Hot Springs, and then went all the way by Hot Springs, and then before the year was out last year, y'all went back and did the Smokies.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
We got invited to a wedding. We had met a young lady, and her husband had hiked the trail. Her husband-to-be had hiked the trail a couple years prior. And we really hit it off with them, so they invited us to their wedding. So my friend and I, Hawk, skipped the Smokies at Jimmy's advice, and thank you again, Jimmy. You probably saved our lives. And or at least a ton of money, getting lodged in Gatlinburg for 7 days like those other folks did. So Hawk and I went down and we finished the Smokies, and I wore a t-shirt and shorts. It was pleasant. It was 80 degrees during the day. The foliage was there. It was the most pleasant section of the hike I'd had.
Well, that's great. That's great. I know in Hot Springs, found out that you played the piano. You actually played me some songs, made me cry one time, I believe. Some of the songs you played.
I've told others, and I don't know how I feel about that. I made a fireman cry.
Yeah, you sure did. You sure did. And I always said on the video, I remember, and I'll try to tag that other video to this one in case the viewers was not watching our videos back then, and they can go back and watch the first video I did of you. And I think I remember we were at Davenport Gap when I videoed you.
And Fresh Ground was there, yes.
Fresh Ground was there. And I think in that video, I'll have to go back and look at it myself, but I almost remember describing you as one of the most delightful guys I had been around on the trail. And you're always smiling, you always got a great attitude. I've never seen you down, I've never seen you complain, and I appreciate that about you, and appreciate being able to call you a friend. Now, you made 1,200 miles, and then actually, we did have another video. I'll bring this up, I just come to my mind. We found you close to the end of your mileage last year and surprised you.
Yes.
How far was that? How many miles were do you think you had under your belt at that time?
Over 1,000,
Okay.
under 1,100, probably like 1050 or so.
Right, and you did some more, and then plus you went to the Smokies to make the 1,200.
Yeah.
But we found Mizman, and we may tag that one too, and surprised him on the trail.
Surprised me. You could have knocked me over with a feather.
That was up
I
in
could not believe it that Jimmy and Sherry, I believe, she hiked the trail in 2014, that they were in Massachusetts somehow, and it just really, really blew me away.
And another interesting thing about your hike last year, you met Jake, who did the artist and did the paintings, and you got your girlfriend got Jake to do a special, and we were there when she presented that with you.
Yeah, we were at Withburg, I think.
Yeah,
and we met for lunch.
Had lunch. That's right.
And you had that all set up behind the scenes, and Judy was involved, my trail boss and life partner, Judy, my queen. I miss you, Judy. I'm hiking home to you, babe.
He's hiking north. He'll be there before you know it. Okay, so let's get to the deal about how you felt when you decided or realized you weren't going to complete your through hike. Tell me what went through your mind and your heart.
I was just broken. My spirit was broken, my mind was broken, my body was still strong, but I just knew I had run out of time. Okay. And it really ate at me. I got off the trail, and it probably took a good 3 or 4 weeks before I even started to shake the blues off and just kind of get back to living the normal life off trail. And it was very, very difficult to deal with for the longest time. And coming back to the trail is something that I feel like a section hiker has over a through hiker. 2,200 miles, a through hiker, you're the elite of the elite, the best. You did it in 1 year, you did it in one shot. I'm impressed and I'm in awe of every single one of you. God bless each and every one of you for doing that. The only thing I feel like I got over you is I get to come back and do it again and again and again until I finally walk my 2,200 mile.
So how far or how long after you went home, you said you several weeks or whatever, when do you feel like, did you have to come back out on the trail, or were you beginning to think, I'll go back out there, and that was helping you get through it? When did that moment come that you realized, I didn't finish, but I didn't make a mistake? This has turned into a blessing.
I think it was going through the Smokies. I think it was getting back on the trail, and you know, it's pretty orchestrated the way you go through the Smokies. You register for hut to hut to hut, and everything's pretty much planned out. So there's not a whole lot of thinking involved. And I think it was during that hike that I just found this inner peace. I was really grateful to be back on the trail. And if you're out on the trail and you embrace the trail and you enter it with an open heart and an open mind, it's going to accept you, and it's always going to be there for you. Whether you get off at the Amicalola Arch or you make it all the way to Lady K and you get off, the trail is always going to be a part of you, and it will call you back.
And you're attempting now to do around a 500-mile section this year.
Yes, I'm hoping to go from Rockfish up to Unionville, New York, Jimmy Murray's secret shelter.
Yeah, we won't tell anybody.
Okay.
And then
it'll be about 500.
And when you finish that this year, you told me you'll have Maine and New Hampshire left. That's all.
That's it.
And I don't know how many miles that is. Do you know?
Yeah, Maine is about 285, and I think 220, so about 500. I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, close.
Okay. Now, being back out this year, you only been out what, a week or so or something?
Yeah,
like
a week
that.
tomorrow.
And how is your legs? Or do you feel them getting stronger? How is that for somebody that comes out as a section hiker versus a through hiker? You got your legs as a through hiker probably after Hot Springs or somewhere, I don't know.
Sure.
But now, how long do you think it'll take you to where you feel very comfortable doing some bigger miles?
I took the winter off, and I went back to Vermont and finished Vermont because I had stopped at Clarendon Gorge Shelter. And I finished out to Hanover, and it was about a 65-mile trek. And starting in Vermont without any trail legs, wow.
Yeah, I bet.
So that tuned me up pretty good. And I kept active throughout the early parts of the summer and into the early part of the fall now. We're almost into fall.
Yeah.
Another week. And I think I got off track.
No, no, you're going right with with your trail legs, so you're
yeah.
comfortable about they're getting where they need to be.
Yeah, and I feel pretty strong now. I kept
You've
my
done
pack
over,
weight down.
I mean, you've done 13 miles or 14 mile days already, at least.
Yeah, I think I'm up to about 10, 20, 30, 40, just under 50 miles, I think.
Already.
Yeah,
And then
and I feel strong. I've really benefited from Jimmy and Sherry coming by and helping me with some slack packing, and it's just a whole different hike with 10 pounds on your back versus 30 pounds on your back,
Right.
and it's made it a lot easier too
And
to adjust.
you've got a friend you met in 2018, and I know him. We slack packed him one day in 2018. Far. He's got a YouTube. I mean, he doesn't have a YouTube. He's got a journal. If anybody wants to go back and follow Far, he's doing kind of what you're doing. He didn't finish the hike, but now he's back doing sections, and he's going to come out and meet you tomorrow, and we're going to try to surprise him.
Yeah, I can't wait to see Carl again. It was a pleasure meeting him. He's just I told him the first time I met him, I said, I don't know what it is about you, but I really like that you're out here on the trail, and I really like that I know you and we're hiking together.
Yeah.
Just a delightful person.
I'm excited about seeing him.
Can't wait to see Carl again.
It's been a long time since I've seen him. So let me go back on what we talked about, because one of my purposes for doing this interview, I've already told you that, is to dwell on that about somebody that can't make it during the year.
Yeah.
So you would be advising somebody that's going to hike next year or the year in the head or the future to keep that in the back of your mind, that if something happens for injury or whatever the reason be, it's not the end of the world.
It's not the end of the world. You might feel it and you might think it, but it really isn't. The trail will always be there for you, and it will call you back.
That's good. Now, how many people are you keeping in touch with that you've met on the trail? Do you?
Oh, wonderfully, about 30 or 40.
Yes.
We with social media and things like that. I mean, it's not a lot. It's like,
Right.
hi, how you doing?
Right.
Remember this? Remember that story? 1 foot, Ray Galley picked me up, and we went up and did some trail magic in New Hampshire for the hikers this year.
That's great.
And that really felt great to be on the other side, be on the giving side of the trail
Yes.
magic, and it was really special too. I really appreciated Ray picking me up and taking me up to New Hampshire like that.
Almost every thru hiker I know goes back and gives back to the trail, and that's what it's about, just giving back, to the trail. I know that the thought of Katahdin is emotional for you, and you even talk about you can't wait till the day that you touch that sign. I can't wait till you get there. I want to see that picture, and I'll know that we were a very small part, but we were part of that.
A very
for
big
you.
part of that.
Last night we came out and looked at something kind of like this over the mountains over there, and we talked about what a good, gorgeous time we've had, and how God's creation is right here with us, and we're able to experience it, and that's a big part of being out here in the nature, I believe.
Really is.
Anything else that you might want to encourage somebody that's watching us, Mizman, and thinking about doing the hike next year or somewhere in the future? Maybe it's an older person like you and I, and what would you suggest to those kind of people?
Get out there, try it, and keep hiking.
Just keep hiking.
Keep hiking.
Keep hiking. I like that. I like that. Anybody you want to say hello to before we let them go, and so we can turn around and watch this beautiful sunset?
My trail boss, my queen, my lover, Judy. I miss you. I'll see you soon. I love you.
God bless every step you make between here and wherever you stop this year.
Thank
God
you.
bless the steps you make toward Katahdin until you finished that glorious Appalachian Trail through hike.
Someday.
It's like hike to the finish.
Amen.
Okay, we'll talk to you later. Let's turn around and see if we can't see a sunset here. We may move to another location, maybe right up and get a different view, but we're going to sit here, guys, and just enjoy God's creation. This is absolutely a gorgeous time for us to be out here. Sherry and I really love coming out and helping the hikers, but look what we get to do on the side, maybe when they're sleeping in the woods. Again, thank you for watching the video, and respond and give us some input on things you might want us to do or say or talk to the hikers about, and we'll see you at the next video. Bye-bye.